Maddox is a political editor of The Express Online. Well, the committee were pretty clear, weren't they?
They were pretty clear, but to go back on your point, I'm not entirely convinced. So it's clear that he did mislead Parliament and he's fessed up to that. I'm not convinced that he deliberately misled Parliament. A lot of people aren't. And but I think, unfortunately, that it's gone well beyond that. And there has been an ongoing campaign. You've referred to it in terms of the Brexit legacy. There's been an ongoing campaign since 2016 to portray Boris as a habitual liar. They finally got the document, they could do it. I mean, I saw this morning Dominic Grieve, Michael Heseltine, all the usual suspects were all out waving there saying, I told you so.
Why did Boris give them all this ammunition?
Well,
all self-imposed errors.
It's the enigma that is Boris, isn't it? That, you know, it's the flaws in his personality which were there. And you know perfectly well that I wasn't a great fan of his government and him as Prime Minister. I thought that it was a huge missed opportunity. I mean, basically, he got one thing right, which was to get Brexit done. But it was, and I thought Philip Davis, your GB News colleague and Tory MP, really nailed it yesterday at PMQs when he said that. But it's, you know, for me, I'm afraid it's gone well beyond whether he misled Parliament deliberately or not. This is now about the legacy of Brexit and about unpicking it and saying it was all based on a lie. And we're going to get a deluge of this from the left and from the Remainers.
Boris being out of the game makes it easier for the rejoiners.
It does, but it also makes it easier for him to make a comeback. And to
within the Tory party?
Within the Tory party, I think it will.
Well, not this side of an election, surely.
Not this side of an election,
no, okay.
but in 4 or 5 years' time, I could easily see it. It's amazing. I mean, you see it around the Western world. I mean, I don't really want to compare him to Silvio Berlusconi, but my wife's Italian. You know, the number of times that man, for much worse things, made for the most remarkable comebacks, and people say, "Oh, it's Italy." Well, but you know, Italy's a serious Western democracy, and we keep voting this man back in
4 times.
4 times. It's these big personality politicians.
Well, and of course, Churchill had some disastrous periods during his career and bounced and came back and U-turned on many of the things he believed in.
And your friend over the Atlantic, I think, is on the point of making a comeback as well, partly fuelled by the allegations being made against him and the weaponising of the legal system, as we've seen the weaponising of the parliamentary procedures.
Yeah, the difference is that the Trump base has held solid.
Yes.
And much of the Johnson 2019 vote, you know, maybe up to 40% of that vote doesn't really trust him.
But I think it could come back. I actually think it could come back, especially after a bit of a Labour government and things continuing to go badly.
David, I tell you what, I was hearing nonsense this time. You know, a few days ago, would he fight the Mid-Beds by-election? Would he go for Henley at the next election? The Conservative Party will never let him back for what he's done this side of an election, but 3 or 4 years down the road, he could be back in politics.
Absolutely.
And I think that is quite possibly true. David Maddox, thank you.